Hello, I'm Tracy with MeatRx. Today we're here with another success story, and we have Jenny, and she's going to tell us all about her success with Carnivore. Hi, Jenny.
Hi, Tracy. Thank you for having me today.
Oh, yes. Thank you for coming. And the first thing I'd like to find out is what was your life like before Carnivore, your health conditions, and what was your diet like before you started doing Carnivore?
I suppose my health challenges began in 2009. I was diagnosed with an aggressive form of breast cancer known as BRCA1, which Angelina Jolie made publicly after she had preventative surgery for it. So that was the beginning of my journey. And before that, I had even been vegetarian. But after that, I suppose it was a bit of a wake-up call. So I went vegan after that, and I progressed on to raw vegan actually after that. And I was raw vegan for about 3 years. I then began, I suppose, adding in some grains and cooked food. The climate here is very, very cold. So I added in some warm food, I suppose, but I was continued on to vegan up until about 2016. And I also then, around about 2014, I started suffering with chronic dermatitis. And I had no idea what the issue was really at all. I was taking things in and out of my diet and I couldn't figure it out. So in 2017, I had just began to add a little bit of meat, but I was still kind of grain heavy, I suppose, in my diet. I still had some kind of digestive problems, a little bit of bloating, but to be honest, I kind of put that down to being normal, because that was my kind of normal. And around that time as well, I had started studying nutrition therapy. So I began to learn more about food and more about biology and different things like that. So, but at that time then I was actually diagnosed again with a reoccurrence of the same cancer in the other breast. So originally I had chemotherapy and radiotherapy and a lumpectomy as well. So at that stage in 2017, I took a few months out. I suppose I didn't panic, and I went back and had the lump removed. I declined a full mastectomy. I declined an oophorectomy as well, and I declined chemotherapy and radiotherapy. And I walked out of that doctor's office that day after the diagnosis, and I took a 3-day fast, went on a 3-day fast, because I knew exactly what I needed to do. So I put myself into ketosis in shock, which wasn't the ideal way to do it. And that was the beginning of my real transition, I have to say. I cut out, I didn't really have any kind of processed sugar in my diet at all. But I did have some fruit and things like that. So I cut all that out. In March 2018, I had been familiar with the carnivore diet a little bit. I'd been following Sean Baker from very early days. And I had been familiar with Charlene and Joe Anderson years and years ago, and I came across them and I thought they were crazy in 2010 for what they ate. But there was Meatness March in 2018. So me and my husband decided to do that for a month, and I didn't really look back. I found my dermatitis started to clear up, and I continued on with carnivore for about 3 to 4 months, just fully carnivore. And then we added in a few plants, dairy, and some fish as well. And I've basically continued on that path. I have a very meat heavy diet now, and my dermatitis has completely gone. And I had been in and out of hospitals on antibiotics and steroid creams and all that kind of stuff. And it's completely cleared up. I really haven't looked back, to be honest.
Wow, that's incredible. So, um, for implementing the diet, did you have any difficulties? Like, was there anything that made you extra tired or anything like that in the beginning?
Uh, no, not at all, really. I suppose because I was in ketosis, I found the transition easier. I had I'd say a light headache for a couple of days, the keto flu, which was even, I suppose I was probably going further into ketosis with the meat. Even though it's high protein, it still put me deeper into ketosis. And I didn't, to be honest, I had absolutely no problems. I found it so easy that it was difficult to implement anything else afterwards.
Oh, okay.
So,
Okay. I can see that. So yeah, being in ketosis would really help a lot
yeah,
prior to going carnivore. So,
yeah.
okay. And so you improved your skin condition, and then your how about the cancer? Was there any further information about that?
Well, I continued to have scans and massive pressure as well from the medical industry. And in 2019 was my last scan, July 2019, and that was completely clear. Now, because I'm a trained nutritional therapist as well, I have done my own private testing, and I can see, in even though it doesn't show on any scan, that there are some dormant cells still there. Um, and it's something that I continue to work on, and I'm going to retest now in about a month or so again. But it's so minor that for an aggressive cancer that they told me would basically kill me within a year, and that was in 2017. So I'm doing really, really well.
Oh, that's wonderful. Yeah, that's wonderful. So you said that they were hard on you about not doing chemo and not doing their surgeries and such. Is that
Absolutely, yeah. Well, I suppose that's the standard of care, and that's what they would repeat to tell me. It's the standard of care, so they can't go with outside those guidelines. But I suppose because I had been through chemotherapy and radiotherapy 10 years previous, it was my decision. I knew what I needed to do, so and I continue to do different therapies for myself, and it's working. I mean, it's I've no problem. I feel better than I've ever felt in my life. Um, no problems. And I'll continue to test and just monitor it myself, but I'm not concerned at all about it. It hasn't spread, and the tumor is gone, and it's just dormant cells. And I'll probably be working on that for the rest of my life. After having cancer, it's very, very difficult to remove all cancer for the rest of your life. So,
wow? What an incredible story, Jenny. Thank you for sharing that with us. Can you give us an idea of like what you eat in a typical day?
well, I'll start my day with things like bacon and eggs, some avocado, some dairy, maybe some heavy goat's yogurt. Um, and then I don't normally eat then until evening time. I just don't need to eat. I eat a late breakfast, and I will have steak usually and just some veg. I mean, and some butter on the side or something. I keep it very simple, my diet. I don't make it any way complicated. Um, and I do a lot of intermittent fasting as well. So, like, sometimes I don't eat until the evening as well. So,
Oh, okay. Does your husband join in with you in eating this way also?
yeah, he has really implemented it. I suppose it's just when you live together, it's easier to just eat the same thing. um, yeah, and he only said the other day that he's really noticed his taste buds have completely changed. That he doesn't crave any sweets or anything like that anymore. So
Oh,
yeah, really, really good.
that
Really,
sounds so
really good.
good. Are there many people in Ireland that are on carnivore? Do you know?
No, we don't know anyone else.
Oh, okay.
A lot going down the vegan route, but no.
I see. Well, thank you so much, Ginny. And I know this will help a lot of people. It's really incredible that you have beat the cancer. It's so amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing your story.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.